So, before I say anything about my thoughts or feelings on adoption, I thought that anyone out there who might watch this should know a little bit about my background, why I care about it so much, why it's so close to my heart, and why I want to be able to connect to other people out there. So, I was adopted. Before I was even born, all the paperwork was done. I was born in Santa Fe. I had a white mother and a black father, my biological parents. And my parents who adopted me, they are both PhD professors, very intelligent. They're the sweetest people ever. And I was lucky enough, I have an open adoption. So this basically means that I get to know my birth parents, and admittedly, I'm much closer to my birth father and his family than to my birth mother, but I understand that that's because giving me up was extremely hard for her. So, my birth mom did, though, tell me once that the reason she chose my parents, because I was wondering, like, why did you choose them over other candidates? And she said it's because they had a huge capacity for love and that they wanted a child so much they would have taken an alien baby. So she chose them. And she had an artist couple that she could have chosen from, which she was an artist. So that would have related to her. And then there was a lawyer couple. And that couple, she was going to call them and tell them, I'm not choosing you. But they called her first and told her they didn't think that they could handle raising a biracial child. So that's what happened there. Everyone thought I was going to come out a lot darker, by the way. So I was adopted out of Santa Fe. My parents and I went back to where they lived, which was in New York, in upstate New York. And then we moved out here to the west side of the country. And I grew up, and I'm an only child. They didn't have any other children biologically or adopt any other children, so it was just me and them. They adopted me a lot older, so they were like 45. So now I'm 22, so they're well into their 60s at this point. But they were amazing parents. I feel so blessed. I feel so extremely blessed. And I know that I got lucky in my adoption situation. I know that it's kind of a rare one. Not everyone gets such an open adoption. Not everyone has so much access to information about their biological family. And not everyone gets to talk about it as openly with their adoptive parents as they like, because I know some adoptive parents don't like talking about it as much. So I know I was blessed in that way, but being adopted, it affects you. No matter, whenever you are adopted, whatever age, it affects you. It just does. So I always really cared about it. When I was around 17, I really started to care about it a lot. I was upset over it for a while. I just had all these questions that suddenly just accumulated in my mind, and I sought out the answers. Most of them were for my birth mom because I didn't know her as well. And I even had some for my parents and for my birth dad. I wanted more details. I didn't just want the surface story as, oh, it was just perfect and we got you and here we are. So I asked questions. I was at a boarding school at the time, so I got to give a chapel talk. That's what I talked about. And my birth parents and my parents were there. It was the first time in my whole life that they'd all been in one room. It was really great, but it made me super anxious. It was like such a different situation for me. Um, so I did get to ask questions, and this helped me a lot. When I went into college, I do communications and sociology, so I studied adoption a lot. I had so many questions I wanted to know. I wanted to know what research has found out, and that really helped me understand myself a lot better. I went to an adoption specialist. I mean, that's kind of weird, but she was a therapist, and she helped me a lot too. She told me a lot of things I really didn't want to hear, and I cried a lot, but it really opened my eyes. It showed me how much adoption can really affect your life, even though I really didn't want to know that it could be that impactful. So that's why I care about it so much. It's seriously so close to my heart. I think about it all the time, and it's not a negative thing. It's something that really intrigues me. It's interesting because I don't even have any adopted friends. It's like my family situation. Yeah, I have two parents and they have a kid, and in that way, it's the normal nuclear family, but in another way, it's totally different. Like, my mom doesn't have stories of being pregnant with me. I'm not related to her. I can't look at her and say, oh, we look alike or we do this alike. I don't look like my dad. I don't have similar behaviors. I didn't always necessarily mentally match up with them because I don't know if you knew this, but nature won over nurture in that scientific debate. So that's how that went. So anyway, this has gone like longer than I wanted it to, but that's probably all you need to know as far as why I even care and why I want to tell my story, whether or not anyone hears it. I just want to get it out, and I hope even if one person gets to see it and, I don't know, talk to me, that'd be awesome. So I hope you see the rest of my videos too after this and engage in anything that you are interested in. Okay, I'll see you later.